Yo, man, what's going on? It's your boy Tay the Goat on the creative plane. Align your mind with divine type shit. Pardon me. At our burning series, I just got done working out and everything. I hope everything's going well. Know what I mean? Hope everything's good for you. Hope that you're improving. Doing what you need to do to improve. Focused on yourself. Improving your daily life. So it brings me to exactly what I want to talk about today. And I uploaded a couple videos on TikTok about this. And what is it? Mind control. Ever since I've been waking up, I've noticed there can sometimes be a cap where we're not allowed to think past, we're not allowed to feel past. And it's mostly set by ourselves because of our conditioning. We set it ourselves, but it's set by egoic thought form, or egoic pattern, basically the archons, basically the elites, basically the conditioning that we've been through is set by that. But we set it to ourselves because we honor that, because we externalize ourselves. So I basically want to talk about what's going on with this. Why is it even like that? Why is there even an agenda to keep us slow type shit? Or why is it why is this going on? What controls us and what uses this information so that we can stay controlled and stay in certain levels of awareness type shit? Basically how I raise my levels of awareness type shit. So here are some things that help me to not be controlled and to basically direct my energy. Direct myself to a definite path and a definite meaning to be able to create what I want to create here. That's the main goal of the creative plane, to create what we want to create here. That's the reason we exist here, so that we don't have to compete, so that we don't have to, go through it, so that we don't have to put up with things that we don't have to put up with, And basically it's all mental. Everything is mental. When you really start to get in tune with yourself, when you really start to build, when you really start to get on your own frequency, you start to realize that everything is mental. Karma gets outweighed by dharma when you start to exist differently. Your being exists here differently. You can be able to express a certain tone of awareness, and that cancels out what's here. It cancels out the conditioning of what's here. So a condition, for example, can be electromagnetic radio waves being used by the government to control our minds type shit. Let's say hypothetically that's happening. 5G towers, whatever you want to call it, or radio waves. There's documents on this, and I just uploaded a short about it if you want to see what I'm talking about. But when you are aware of these things, and I've experienced this myself. I experienced thoughts that are in minds, wondering where these thoughts are coming from, why I'm having these thoughts, because I know how I think, and I'm aware. I have a certain type of awareness. I know how I think, and I know certain things that happen. For example, when I got done working out the other day, I went outside, and out of nowhere, every time my energy goes up, I feel myself going up. More cars start driving by around me, and I feel like it's a way to dilute someone's energy or some type shit, because they watch us. I feel like, whoever they are, but that's of no concern to us, because when you're coming from the inside out, you can see these things and be aware of them. What you're aware of has no power over you when you know thyself type shit. But as I was saying, I notice when I'm doing something that is basically may raise my energy or breaking me out the collective awareness, and I'm using my own awareness and source awareness type shit. Things start flying over me, a lot more airplanes, helicopters, and Because when you feel out this world, the fabricated world, I feel like it loses, the ego loses its grip on you, type shit, you know what I mean? So the fabricated world loses its control over you. So these things are, you have to do your own research on them and research them yourself. I'm just telling you from my experience what happens. And you have to be able to discern your decisions, what you do, you know what I mean, and create a healthy relationship with yourself so that you aren't in toxic relationships with your environment or toxic relationships with your with things like even like you have a toxic relationship with social media. You know what I mean? It's about how you choose to perceive what's here and how you choose to elevate yourself and align yourself. You know what I mean? And one of the best ways to create your own brain waves and own thoughts, because we're receiving thoughts everywhere all the time. It's not just the government doing this. Other people do the same thing. Person drives by and I can feel their thoughts. I mean, this is why it's important to be aware when you're sensitive, or when you're spiritually heightened type shit. You know what I mean? Because those with spiritual power there's twice as much blessing, there's twice as much consequence type shit. You know what I mean? So you got to be aware of yourself. You know what I mean? So what was I gonna say though? Yeah, you can feel the thoughts of everything around you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can feel a lot more thoughts than you want to. So it's about directing your having a direction and a goal. Because when your energy is just free flowing, when your energy is just free forming, you know what I mean? Like you don't have no direction, you don't have no goal. It's just going to be used up by anything. You're gonna be wondering why you're thinking this, wondering how you're feeling this way. Because I've been able to, I experience people in my awareness, people in my space type shit. You know what I mean? And it's not even people, it's thoughts. Certain thoughts in my space are informed. You know what I mean? And it can be on the app, you know what I mean? It's like this. Not when you're not anchored in yourself, like your eyes give energy or they absorb energy type shit, you know what I mean? Or both. You know what I mean? So if I'm paying too much attention to something, that thing is picking up on my energy, but it's not picking up on it in a way that is meaningful. It's picking up on it in an ego way, and it's to get energized. It can energize corrupt thoughts. It can energize. It could energize the matrix thoughts. It could energize lower things type shit. You know what I mean? But when there's a genuine connection, you sense the beingness, the God in another being type shit, you know what I mean? Or the awareness, and you sense that you're both alive type shit, you know what I mean? And that in itself brings peace, and it brings a certain awareness to you type shit, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that because when I sense things in my awareness, it's like it's hard to describe, but it's like I could tell when I'm not fully here type shit, you know what I mean? Someone else is here living through me type shit, you know what I mean? Like a thought form of this and that. I'm being controlled or some type shit, you know what I mean? So it's nothing to be, afraid of or this and that. It's something to be aware of. Awareness is key. You know what I mean? When you're aware of something, you no longer when you're aware of your weakness, it's no longer weakness. You know what I mean? So rather than be afraid of it, research it, know it type shit, you know what I mean? Use your awareness and ways of being to get to a better you so that you cannot be controlled by these things or fixated on these things or moved by these things type shit, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's all about how you feel about yourself. You know what I mean? And this is another good way to be able to raise your frequency. I watched one of my old videos and it changed how I felt right then and there. So I know for a fact that you have more control over your reality. You know what I mean? Because it says it's in the Bible. You ask you what Jesus says this type of shit. He says, what does it say? Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the rest of the world. You know I mean, the government, MK Ultra, that's the rest of the world. The the creator being in you, the thing that can speak without speaking, and hear and hear, and like you have a thought, you can speak and this and that. That's what the outside is trying to manipulate in order to create more of the outside. So you have to be able to use that to create. So you're not an empty shell, so you're not an empty vessel. Type shit. Now, I mean, he that is in you is greater than he that is in the rest of the world, means your inner being is way more powerful than what's out here. So you have to use the inner being to be able to shift your reality. Use the inner being, tell it certain things, give life to it, speak life into it, change your reality. I am abundant. I am creative. I am I am things are working out in my favor. When you say certain things with a certain tone, it picks up on that and you feel that way. Guys, you know what I mean? It's not always about, and it's not easy because the ego wants drama, the ego wants to create drama type shit, you know what I mean? So you have to figure out how to turn that drama into something different, into a different energy. Like, enthusiasm is the same as drama. You know what I mean? You're feeling a certain way or you're using it differently type shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm excited about today. I'm excited about today. Like you could really change from a negative way of being to a positive way of being. It's the same with anxiety. Anxiety is really excitement, but it's closed in, so it makes you like, it's really excitement in the, because all energy is one energy. It's how you look at it type shit. You know what I mean? So. Pardon me. So MK Ultra in these things, you have to understand that, yeah, it's real, it can be spooky, you know what I mean? And there's news, I was watching on the news type shit, you know what I mean? Like, people have spiritual power and don't know it, so they're used for evil energy, they're used for lower things. It's real. That's the way it is sometimes type shit, you know what I mean? So you have to know how to get into a different state of being so that you can't be affected. Because I was watching this thing and it's like, this guy was used. He said some thoughts told him to do something. He did it type shit, you know what I mean? He said he felt like a passenger in his own body type shit, you know what I mean? So it's important to be aware of these things. It's not, spooky this and that, but it's important to be aware. You know what I mean? I feel like awareness is key. That awareness changed my life. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I'm aware to such a degree where I can still change my life type shit, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. So I feel like, it's about how you feel about yourself, what you choose to create here, being disciplined, having direction, definite purpose. These things are going to keep you from being controlled. Because in order to be controlled, you have to be in habits that exert lower energy. High energy, you ever have low energy and your thoughts are bad, you don't want to feel the way you feel, you're depressed, that's just low energy. That's just compressed energy. I mean, your vessel is telling you something. And you don't have to focus or carry that energy all around you all the time, but you have to acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, you can change that energy. Your feelings are just here to help you. Know what I mean? So these things, when you're in these lower states, and these are the states that the Matrix wants to keep you in, so that you're a slave to the external reality. If you watch the movie They Live, it says obey, consume, this, that, here, and your mind picks up on it. The subconscious mind picks up on it, but you don't even know. I mean, if you're in those lower states, but if you raise your frequency, you can live in a higher state of awareness and no longer be shackled to the external environment. You can still experience and see and feel the external, but you have that inner being that is more powerful and able to see past it because it only sees itself. You know what I mean? And when you only see yourself, that's why they condition you in a lower way. Because we really only see ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's about being able to change yourself through your perception. That's the only thing we can really change. When you change your perception, you change your way of being, you change your way of doing, you change your way of thinking. That's what your perception is. perceptions control a lot. So there's basically two perceptions you can have of reality. That is that is that it is going to something good or it's going to shambles. And those perceptions are controlled by how you feel and think about this. I mean, all you have to do is understand that this is already perfect. It's moving towards completion. Because if you think it's the other way around, like things are bad, the world is ending, you're not going to put any effort into anything that you're doing. When you know it's going to get better, you're going to work towards the greater good type shit. I mean, but I won't go off on a tangent. So the creative plane is about creation, not competing. I mean, this isn't about competition, and that's the thing too. Like the world wants you to be competing, it wants you to be in a rat race. Even with spirituality, people are kind of getting into a rat race type shit. I mean, so I feel like it's key to remember your values. Remember your values, understand your values, and you won't be controlled by these things because it's not only the government using MK Ultra, people use these things too. People learn and mimic things without even knowing. People copy what they do subconsciously. People can, like there could be somebody's. I done had a thought beam to me before. I mean, someone can upload a thought to you. If you're unaware of yourself, someone can beam you a thought. I mean, so someone can listen that, and it's used for good things too. It's used for communication. It's just awareness of what you're directing your energy towards. Is it helping you get to where you need to be type shit? I mean, or is it taking from you type shit? I mean, so it's basically about awareness, loving yourself, knowing who you is type shit. I mean, so that you can create what's best for you and what's in the environment around you type shit. I mean, by believing in yourself, understanding yourself, and creating. I mean, so that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Now, I mean, it's your boy Taylor. Go on a creative plane. On your mind divine type shit, like so free to be. Create what you want here. You know what I mean? Other than that, be. Stay up. Like, comment, and subscribe. If any of this information resonated with you, stay tuned in. You know what I mean? Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm gonna keep uploading and posting, keep tuning in type shit. You know what I mean? Peace.